Time management, priority, and strategy. I think the key to time management is energy preservation, good strategy, and healthy priority. Those things are different from one another, so it's a lot about knowing yourself, knowing your strength, knowing your weaknesses, and observing and learning how the people around you operate, because it's a teamwork. Once I heard a very inspiring story about alligators that kind of stayed with me ever since. I don't even know if it's true, but I will give it a shot. So apparently, the way alligators hunt for fish, salmon fish, is not by chasing their prey in the river, is by placing themselves in a strategic point under a rock or somewhere when a big amount of fish arrives, opening their jaws and waiting to the fish to fall in. And in the meantime, they just sleep. And of course, when they feel it's the moment, they close the jaw with all they got, and that's their daily dose, or sometimes more than a daily dose. So what can we learn from them? When you hit with all you got. Rest of the time, be at ease, rest, and fill up your batteries. A strategy is identifying what to start from in each case. In what cue it can be the melody, in another it can be harmonic movement, in another it can be a particular instrument, it can be an atmospheric texture, or a particular sound from a library. So find what's the heart of the cue you're working on and tackle it straight from its heart. Go straight there. Don't waste your time on irrelevant things. Find what really makes the cue work and deal with the rest later. I try to act in concentrated waves. I almost don't try things. I do, and I take the risk that it will be unused. In general, I think hesitation is #1 time waster in our work. So start from the essential, don't worry about the rest. Send it out, get feedback, go back to it. When you get feedback from the director and the producer, take it step forward. But the most important is, again, is start from the core and the most important thing that needs to be there. The other things that, or you know that you are very good at and are easy for you and you can do very fast, do them later. Start with really what's essential to what you're working on. One more thing that I noticed that is a waste of time is the attempt to present an idea. To finalize and work on irrelevant things at the moment where you still don't know if it's gonna be used or not. Once again, start from the core, learn how to make things presentable with minimal efforts, and if you need, communicate better the idea, but don't waste, again, out of anxiety, all this time on those little details just to help the idea to get through. And again, don't get me wrong, sometimes it is important, but kind of develop the feel where your time is needed most. I also split the time with different types of activities. For example, I would start from a cue that needs a creative input, give it what I can. When I feel I'm tired, I would leave that and go to another cue where I already got the idea and now it's more about editing and refining, and it's more like technical work when it's kind of different part of me is operated on that. Then I will leave that and go to a totally fresh view and a totally fresh cue when an idea is needed. And it's different type of muscle working. So I try to work in those chunks of different nature of work. And jumping from one to another keeps me staying fresh and not waste time, and every session is efficient to what it should be. Priority is dividing your time between the different scenes, the different cues. Unfortunately, not all the cues get the same amount of attention, time, and even love. Always have your eye on the whole picture, on the timetable, and try to operate from that and not fall in love with particular places and spend on that time that doesn't justify it. Set daily goals and reach them by any means. Don't be attached to the music. I remember myself spending days on cues that didn't work and that the director or producer didn't like. And I spent more and more time on it and thinking that no, if it will be just the right reverb, or if the cello would play that and not this, and if the viola would do this, or if no, it's a mandolin, this would make the difference. Kind of not giving up and trying to prove the producer and the directors wrong and that this is the right idea for the... It's a waste of time. Don't waste time on the right effect, on the right tone, on the little bit of this is not what will convince the director or the producer to go for that or not. Don't be attached to it. It doesn't work. Of course, there are exceptions, but in general, it doesn't work, leave it. Do something else. Most of the time, it will be the most efficient thing to do. Even if sometimes it doesn't make sense, sometimes the most efficient thing is to allow myself to childishly explore and follow paths that doesn't make even sense at the moment. Most of the time, the result of those type of sessions are much more efficient than responsible, work and very cautious composing. Decision making and committing is also one of the keys, in my opinion. By committing, I mean recording already very processed and close to the final version of it, and printing MIDI files, printing effects, already get everything, basically not allow myself to go back and hesitate too much. Limiting myself and always going forward and kind of working a pyramid structure when the base is kind of there and undoubtable, I think allows me to flow and work much faster. And one more thing I've noticed is going back and changing can help me most of the time improve the aesthetics of a cue. But at many other times will hurt or harm the authenticity and the innocence of it. And it's very easy to fix aesthetically a result, but very hard and time-consuming to fix something that doesn't feel real or is not authentic. And at bottom line, that's what works. That's what makes a scene believable and helps it shine through the screen. In my personal case, also performing the music and playing as much as possible saves me a lot of time. I've noticed that even if it takes me some time to focus and get a part very, very right, it will save me a lot of time later on of dragging mouses, painting dots, and trying to make it work and fit what's going on. So I would rather focus and get it right from the first place, record it as processed as possible to work, nail it on the spot, and not go back there anymore. That's pretty much what I can share on that topic. And of course, it's very individual and very personal, and you need to find what works for you. Thank you for being with us. See you next time.